You think that the repeated struggles in your life are just bad luck or coincidence. They're not. You might be carrying old karma, a deeply embedded imprint hidden in your consciousness that you are completely unaware of. The Anguttara Nikaya says, karma is the property of beings, the womb of beings, their relative, and their refuge. Karma doesn't need your belief to exist. It only needs you to keep reacting, keep blaming, keep repeating old behaviors in new forms. It is silent, but immensely powerful, guiding every choice, every reaction, every encounter in your life, and you don't even notice. The first sign: you constantly find yourself in similar situations, with the same type of people. Even after changing environments, jobs, or even countries, an old relationship breaks down. A new person comes, and yet the same painful cycle repeats. You ask yourself, why do I always get betrayed? Or, why am I always treated unfairly? You think it's the fault of others, of society, of fate. But perhaps you are the first link in the chain. Karma is ripening. It creates repeating circumstances, as if trying to get you to learn a lesson you keep refusing to face. And every time you respond the same way, with anger, resentment, blame, you're planting the same seed again for the future. The loop will never end unless you change from within. The second sign: you feel pulled backward every time you try to change yourself. You begin to practice, you read the sutras, chant the Buddha's name, meditate, and for a few days, you feel light and clear. But then, suddenly, old desires, negative thoughts, laziness, and even baseless anger rise up stronger than ever. It's as if an invisible force is holding you down. That's habitual karma, patterns of behavior, emotion, and perception accumulated over many lifetimes, nourished and deeply rooted in the storehouse consciousness. According to Yogacara, the study of consciousness, this storehouse holds the seeds of all karma, and when you begin to transform, they emerge to be seen and released. But if you mistakenly think your practice is failing, you will give up, and once again, repeat the karmic cycle. The third sign: a vague guilt or nameless sadness clings to you even when nothing bad is happening. You wake up in the night, your heart pounding, and tears come for no reason. No one hurt you, nothing terrible happened, and yet, there's an invisible wound in your heart that keeps bleeding. That's the echo of unresolved actions, perhaps harm you've caused others, or even yourself, in past lives. The Dhammapada says, the fool who commits evil does not realize it, but the harm he's done smolders like fire covered in ashes. When your mind stops and becomes still, that smoldering flame flares up, reminding you of something that needs to be released. You're not broken, you're beginning to truly feel the presence of karma. The fourth sign: you repeatedly experience small accidents, tripping, losing small amounts of money, being late, minor misunderstandings that escalate. Each event is small, but the frequency wears you down. Like a chain of constant disruptions, you begin to doubt yourself. These are early signs of negative karma starting to ripen. Karma doesn't only show up in major events like illness or financial collapse. It appears in the tiny, daily frictions of life. If you're mindful, you'll recognize them as messages from the universe, from the Dharma, urging you to look inward. But if you ignore them, you'll continue on the same worn path until karma becomes so strong it forces you to stop, through pain. The fifth sign: you fear silence. Every time you sit alone, you feel uneasy. You turn on music, scroll your phone, do anything to avoid facing yourself. You call it relaxation, entertainment, but in truth, you are running from a past that still clings to your heart. Unresolved, in silence, old karma rises, vague images, memories, emotions without names begin to surface and make you uncomfortable. But this is exactly when you can release it, if you are brave enough to face it. The Buddha did not teach us to find peace by avoiding suffering, but by looking directly at it to see the path to its end. In silence, you can hear karma whispering, and from there, begin to dissolve it with mindfulness and compassion. Nothing is random. If you see these signs, do not ignore them. Not everyone has the karmic conditions to recognize when karma is at work. If you are hearing, or reading, this right now, maybe this is the moment your old karma wants to be seen. Awakening doesn't begin with light. It begins with the courage to look into the darkness. There is no karma that cannot be transformed, only a mind that refuses to face it. So the question is, how much longer do you want to keep running?